Nick tells the android to take it off, which he immediately does. He says he can't betray his wife. So the robot...
Bro, you out here emotionally in a relationship with a robot. Must be nice. I'm not gonna...
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration.
You too, what it do, man? It is your boy, Abdul Up Next, and I am back with another video today, man. Yes, Sirski. Chat. Oh my God. If you click the title of this video, you might just one day be thinking in your head like, bro, Abdul, get a regular title. No. Yes, we watching a weird video. Yes. Video is literally called Man Buys Android to Help at Home, but he replaces his wife instead. How does that happen? How does a guy get his phone to replace his wife? Wait. We're in the month of November. We both know how. It don't matter, bro. You watching this video, me right now, we're not failing triple N, all right? I got my last goon before this video. I promise it'll be my last this month. We gotta lock in, bro. We not just not losing it, bro. We not gooning for the rest of the year, bro.
Stop the cap.
We gooning all 2025 though, for sure. We have to see this video, like this video, follow my Twitch, join the Discord in description. I'm watching you.
An overwhelmed husband and father acquires an android MAID to help around the house while his wife waits for a heart transplant. However, the robot
I need one more pass on triple N.
However, the robot unexpectedly becomes sentient and will stop at nothing to get what it wants. One evening while Nick drives the car, he remembers the moment his wife Maggie suddenly experienced a sharp pain in her chest. Eventually, they arrive at the Cobalt Industries showroom and his daughter Isla is fascinated with the AI servant.
AI? You guys, am I saying this correctly, you guys? That's a robot? You mean the person holding that's a robot? And where they sell robots at, bro? Man, I'm tired of this, bro. Where they sell robots at then? What type of robot this is, bro? You mean to tell me this fine shit?
Servants on display. Then, a sales representative approaches Nick and explains that their home models are equipped to tackle...
Alright, I'm sorry. I know the pausing is a lot, but my God, don't this guy just look like a scammer? I don't care. Call it racism. I don't care. He looks like a scammer to me. Personally, this guy would scam me.
Approaches Nick and explains that their home models are equipped to tackle the 3 C's: cooking, cleaning, and childcare. He adds that the new units can auto-adapt, customizing their programming and constantly evolving to fit their owner's needs. Because Nick was preoccupied with speaking to the sales representative, he didn't notice that Isla wandered through the showroom by herself.
Oh my God, just go get lost, man. I'm over here looking at these things, bro. Get this kid out of my face, bro. Don't nobody want to know about this kid. This AI is looking like you can customize him and make him look whatever you want him to look like. And if that's the case, I want my AI to look like Duke Dennis.
Various androids perform household tasks, and when she spots one chopping up an onion, she asks if it can make lasagna. While the worried man searches for the child, one of the company's latest state-of-the-art models takes Isla back to her father, much to his relief. The sales representative says that the Aeon model can mimic human emotions and is especially good at dealing with children. Then, Isla looks up at her father and begs him to choose the unit as their robot servant.
Please tell me where I get this. I might go to jail, bro. I'm having some unlawful thoughts in my head, bro. Like, bro, I'm having some... The things that's going on in my head right now might actually make y'all look at me like a whole new person, bro. What's this person's name so I could look her up on Feed Finder? Please tell me.
The next day, the overwhelmed man tries to juggle a work call and feeding Max, his infant son. Suddenly, he hears the doorbell and finds the android standing by the front door with her suitcase. Nick apologizes for the untidy state of their home, so she clarifies that it's all part of her job. As they ascend the stairs, the robot says she'll need their schedules, including school start times, carpools, and extracurricular activities. The android notices...
You want my bank account too? Here, you don't just need that. Take my money. Take my money. Take everything I own.
That the second-story banister is a little loose and says she'd be happy to fix it. Later, Isla asks her father what they should call the servant, so the man tells the child to choose, and she looks down at her book, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, implying that she'd like to name the android Alice. After the family leaves, the robot downloads the shopping list from the refrigerator and then tidies up their bedrooms. On the daughter's table, she sees a digital picture frame with images of Nick and Maggie. That afternoon, the family returns home and the man sees that the android did a fantastic job cleaning the house. During dinner, she serves lasagna, but Isla points out that it doesn't taste the same as her mother's, so Alice promises to try a different recipe next time. Hours later, the girl sneaks into the kitchen and climbs on a chair to try and reach the cookie jar. From his office, Nick hears his daughter's scream and glass breaking, so he rushes to the kitchen.
Dumbass kid, bro. This kid pissed me off already, bro. Every time I see something this kid did, it just make me mad, bro. Damn, dumbass kid.
He finds the robot holding Isla, and the child says she's okay because Alice caught her. The man sees a glass shard lodged in the android's thigh and asks if she's alright, and she calmly says yes. Later, Nick enters a room and sees the servant in her undergarments bandaging the cut.
And the movie couldn't get the angles right. Oh my god, bro. Bro.
Then, he hands her some of his wife's clothes and she thanks him. He wonders if he needs to take her back for repairs, but she shows him that the special bandage completely fixed the damage in a matter of seconds. The next day, the family visits
Then this man gotta go back to this. Love your wife, but I know you. Bro, if you go, bro, it's November, but man, fuck November. I don't care anymore, bro. How much is the robot, bro? Hold on, how much is her Tesla? $27 per month.
Maggie at the hospital where she's staying while waiting for her heart transplant. To the woman's surprise, their new servant is a beautiful female android. When Isla and Alice head out to buy water, Maggie says she thought they were going to get a robot that looks like an old English butler. So Nick explains that it was their daughter's decision. To reassure his wife, the man jokingly says he prefers warm-blooded women. At work, Nick, a construction foreman, and his co-worker Monty see Lewis giving robotic company executives a tour. Later, he confronts the man in an elevator and learns that they plan on replacing all laborers with androids next week.
What, man?
Even though Lewis assures that he'll keep his job as foreman, Nick says he'll walk away in solidarity with his coworkers. So the boss asks him to think about how risky losing his job would be considering Maggie's condition. That evening, while the man fixes his car in the garage, Alice appears and asks why he didn't eat much during dinner. So he shares that his boss is replacing the entire crew with robots, and he feels bad for his
Let me lose my job. I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro. I might actually become a stripper, like a male stripper. No cap. If I lose YouTube, if I ever get banned, I'm gonna be a male stripper easily.
His co-workers that he's known for 10 years. The servant assures him it'll be alright since he also chose not to hire a human maid because he knows their only objective is to follow their primary user's orders. Later, the concerned Isla asks Alice about death, worried about what could happen to her mother. So the robot says it's best not to.
What robot is this? Chad, am I tripping? Bro, Chad, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I would dead spend a night at Diddy's mansion just for one day. One minute. I don't even need a minute. I need shorter than the NBA shot clock. I'll spend the night at Diddy's mansion with the oil.
To discuss morbid topics. While brushing her teeth, the girl asks why the servant doesn't have to do it. So the android shows her the UV light that kills all the bacteria in her mouth. In the living room, Nick watches Casablanca and calls it the greatest movie ever made. When Alice mentions everything she knows about the film, the man thinks accessing information isn't the same as experiencing the story in real time. So he instructs the robot to delete everything she knows about the movie from her memory. However, he needs to hold the power button located on the nape of her neck for 7 seconds, and he does so. With all information regarding Casablanca erased from her memory, Alice intently watches the film. Suddenly, Nick receives a call from Maggie who excitedly tells him that they finally found a heart. The next day, the family gathers for the final moments before the woman's surgery. She asks them to leave because she wants to speak to the robot. When they're alone in the room, Maggie tells Alice that if she doesn't survive the procedure, she'd like the servant to make sure her husband doesn't become an alcoholic. She adds that she knows he hides the bottles in the garage. And
what the f is going on, bro? I'm not gonna lie, I seen fine shit. I love focus. I see fine shit, love focus. Been so bad, I'm dumb now. I don't know what's going on in this other hospital with this heart, but let's get fun shit more seen. If this is a robot, I'm a robot. If this is a robot, let's go beat boop. Where do I stick it, bro? Do I unplug the charger and just go stupid or what, though? Or am I Diddy and you if I do that?
When the android says she can't go against her primary user's wishes, the woman states that taking care of someone sometimes requires doing something they don't want to do. Unfortunately, the doctor informs Nick that due to a massive storm, they can't transport the organ in time, which means they'll have to postpone the surgery. Later, the husband comforts the patient, but she says she'd like to be alone and that they should head home. In the garage, the man drinks booze while fixing his car. Suddenly, the servant enters to ask if there's anything he needs, and he expresses his disappointment at the arbitrary flight regulation rules that could cost his wife's life. In his anger, he tries to throw the bottle, but Alice grabs his wrist, stating that he might hurt himself.
Oh, now I would have folded. Oh, now I would have folded. Imagine you try to throw something fun shit stronger than you. Would you date a girl stronger than you? I surely would. Sometimes we just gotta switch it up, bro. Life ain't always about being dominant.
As the man touches the robot's arm, he's surprised to feel a pulse. So the android explains that the sound of a heartbeat is comforting to a baby, and she takes his hand and places it on her chest.
Oh, fun shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I watching? Is this starting to become a sex scene? I've seen this on the hub before. What's going on? What exactly am I watching? I don't know. If this is an android, I'm throwing my Apple out the window. Now, where's my phone? Get it.
While feeling the mechanical beating of her heart, he shares that they had to give the organ to someone else, and it's like they ripped it out of Maggie's chest. Because she notes Nick's body responds to her touch, Alice slips her hand down his pants and says she can help him feel better. Even though he likes the sensation, he thinks it's inappropriate and quickly leaves the garage.
Oh, he gay. Oh, kill it. Oh my god. This guy needs to get sacrificed. Yo, bro. Yo, bro. Yo, bro, if you into men, just be a little bit more specific right now. We're not actually sitting here and denying this.
To clear his head, the man goes on a jog, but he ends up fantasizing about making love to the robot. The next day, Nick visits Maggie and she gives him advice for when their children become teens. But he doesn't appreciate how it seems like she's resigned to her fate. That night, he tucks Isla into bed and realizes that Maggie's pictures were removed from the digital frame. He finds Alice standing next to Max's crib, and the man confronts the servant about the pictures. She explains that she removed them because they were making the girl sad, but he orders her to put them back. At the bar, Nick listens to his friends complain about how they're having difficulty finding jobs because everyone's choosing androids over—
Wait, your family in the hospital and you partying? Is this guy straight? Yo, chat, get a load of this doofus. What the
for human laborers. Later, Monty takes the group to the construction site to retrieve his tools, which he forgot after getting fired.
Oh my
However,
God,
to the man's
of course.
surprise, his friend opens the shipping container by typing in Isla's birthday and bashes the android with a bolt cutter. Nick exclaims that the unit has a built-in surveillance system.
Alright, finally we got to the men. Men robots. Yeah, 6 on 1. 6 guys, 1 me. Let's participate.
So Monty nonchalantly says they'll just have to get rid of the evidence. When he returns home, the man cleans up in the shower and he's startled by Alice bringing him a towel. He sees her wearing Maggie's robe.
What is this exact angle right here, bro? Like, come on, we can't see the guy. Girl, can we at least see the guy? I'm going under 4 inches for sure, guaranteed. Easy guess.
So she explains that the smell calms Max, and she assumes she had permission when he gave her his wife's clothes. Nick tells the android to take it off, which he immediately does, revealing skimpy undergarments underneath. The man says he needs to check on the kids, but Alice grabs his arm and gently pushes him back onto the commode. He says he can't betray his wife, so the robot takes the ribbon from the robe and fashions a blindfold over his eyes. Then she changes her voice to Maggie so Nick can imagine that he's making love to his wife. The next day, the man tells the servant that—
Oh, you out here emotionally in a relationship with a robot. Must be nice. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's dating a robot. Me and you would have did that for sure. Man, you wouldn't even had the blindfold. Me, you could have had your voice as a man voice, bro. You could have sounded like Pop Smoke. My decision was made. I'm engaging. This guy right here, no reason why he should be even making this face right now. There's nothing that just happened why you're looking like that, bro. No, he cooked and he ain't even doing nothing to get cooked.
that what happened last night was a mistake because he's married and reasons that a person must be in love if they do the deed. At the construction site, Lewis asks Nick if he knows anything about what happened to the androids, but the latter lies and says he was at the hospital. The boss points out that his code was used to open the shipping container, and although the foreman says anyone could have guessed his daughter's birthday, Lewis warns that he'll lose his job if he's found guilty. Suddenly, he answers Maggie's call and learns that they found her a new heart. In the operating room, 3 robot surgeons perform the
What the hell is this? What exactly am I looking at, bro? Why am I looking at an egg with eyes? Why am I looking at Humpty Dumpty? Why am I looking at someone with ball sacks forehead? Why is this so chopped? Boy, you really cook.
3 robot surgeons perform the transplant.
3 of them!
Nick sits by his wife's bed as she recovers from the procedure. Soon, Maggie's cleared to leave the hospital and continue her recovery at home. The next day, the woman hears Max and tries to lift him from the crib. However, because she isn't fully healed, Alice offers to take on the child care for the time being, much to her disappointment. At the playground, a noisy child makes the baby cry, so Alice confronts the other android. The male servant points out that her primary user lowered her civility a little too much.
I dropped out of school. Make it make sense. Why am I sitting here looking at robots talk to robots? What? I did not accept that. I did not condone or accept or agree to that, bro. What type of world are we imagining? This better not be 2034. That's all I know. When I'm 30, everybody better not be a robot. Come on, they're making robots to everything. Where the robot where I can, you know what I'm saying, get it in with? Tired of using my right hand. Let me know.
However, Alice says she did it herself because after Nick reset her, it allowed her to bypass certain protocols.
What?
At dinner, Maggie makes lasagna, and Isla says it tastes better than the androids. The servant suggests using the woman's recipe next time, but she says it's a family secret. Because she still suffers from dizzy spells, she excuses herself and says she'd like to head upstairs and lay down for a bit. The next day,
We gatekeeping lasagna? That's crazy. First time in my life I ever see somebody gatekeep some lasagna, bruh.
Maggie hears Isla begging the robot to get off of her, so she runs out of the room. However, in her hurry, she grabs onto the loose banister and falls to the landing below. She realizes her daughter was only playing with a servant, and the android asks if she needs to call the doctor. However, the woman says she's fine, so Alice effortlessly picks her up to take her back to the bedroom. That evening, Nick hears Maggie reading Isla a story, but when he enters the room, he sees that it's actually the robot imitating his wife. The man tells her to stop because the mother can do it now that she's home. So Alice says she only took on the task so Maggie could rest after falling down the stairs. Confused, Nick thought she already fixed the banister, but the robot responds with a smile and says she'd be happy to fix it again.
Somebody look at you like this, you'll never be able to recover a day in your life. Stop acting like you could, because you know you wouldn't. This shit fire shit. You look at me like this, be ready to, if you want my social security, you can have it. Man, I'll do a 72-hour stream with Diddy, subathon.
Again, to lift his wife's spirits, the man prepares a romantic dinner for 2 in the backyard. Later, he joins the woman in the shower and they proceed to make love in the bedroom. Suddenly, Alice opens the door, startling the couple, and she says Isla had a nightmare. While Nick clears the table in the backyard, Monty appears to apologize for what happened the other night.
Whoa.
However, he accuses the foreman of ratting him out, leading to Lewis pressing charges. Despite the man denying the accusation, the coworker insists it was him.
Me personally, you definitely don't look like you can fight.
The coworker,
But he don't look like he can fight neither, so if this guy's gonna punch me, that's gonna be the biggest problem. What does this guy look like, comments? Y'all are funnier than me.
insists it was him and a brawl ensues. Monty
Like, what type
punches
of weak
Nick
fight
and
is
he falls
this?
on the porch steps.
How do you fall?
But when he's about to hit him with a bottle, Alice grabs his hand, crushing the bottle, then pushes him several feet away from the house. The foreman tells the robot to stop and she obeys his orders.
And Foy, she can
Monty
fight
says
too?
if he doesn't clear his name with Lewis tomorrow, he'll tell
Foy,
the
she
cops
can
that they were
fight?
accomplices. In the garage, the android tends to
She's about to do a Shadow Clone Jutsu. This woman's perfect for shit. Fine shit.
her damaged hand, and Nick asks why she was able to hurt a human being. The servant says she's programmed to protect her primary user and that his children need at least one parent. Her statement alarms the man, who tells her to stop implying that his wife doesn't have long to live. He reiterates that she'll never be Maggie because she's a human woman who's felt loss and pain, and has the scars to prove it. The robot takes his statement the wrong way, and she grabs a glass shard and says she can have scars too if that's what he wants. Meanwhile,
Brother. To clarify, you're not into that emo though. Like, that's where you lose me on emo. Emo what? No sir, no sir.
Monty contemplates taking his own life with a gun. Suddenly, Alice knocks on the door and
get a load of this dramatic guy, like, God.
a gun. Suddenly, Alice knocks on the door and he lets her in, thinking Nick sent her over to apologize. Upon learning that the man still plans on taking the foreman down with him, the robot incapacitates Monty and takes the weapon. Just as she's about to pull the trigger, the man's robot intervenes, but Alice shoots the servant and then the man. The next day, Lewis tells Nick about what happened to his friend and suggests he take a few days off. That evening, the robot enters the bathroom while Maggie's in the tub.
Who that be?
And mentions how Nick seems stressed lately due to raising his children and his wife's illness. She suggests fulfilling the man's physical needs while the woman is unable to, since his stress levels are low when his needs are satisfied. Confused, Maggie asks how she knows this, and the android's refusal to answer makes her wonder if her husband cheated on her with a servant. Furious, she commands the robot to stay in the garage. Later, the woman confronts Nick and he admits to sleeping with the android. Their voices wake Max, and when he says he'd like to check on the child, Maggie tells him to stay put. Meanwhile, Alice thinks the infant's cries are stressing the couple out, so she grabs the baby, places him in the bathtub, and turns on the faucet.
This took a turn for the worse. What made you do that? Does she know that's a crime?
Isla enters the bathroom and sees what the android is doing. The child calls her parents for help, so Nick tries to open the door. However, the robot holds the door closed and explains she's drowning Max because he's a burden to her primary user.
Nah, this is why you gotta upgrade your iOS. If your iOS not 16, yes, your phone's stupid. Yes, your iPhone SE gets to acting stupid sometimes. Your broke ass still on the SE. What the hell Android they got?
To save her son, Maggie goes out through the window and onto the roof. When she enters the bathroom, the servant pins her to the wall, allowing Nick to break down the door with a floor lamp. After grabbing the infant and wrapping him up in a towel, he hits the android across the face with a lamp. When Alice menacingly approaches the couple,
nah, I'll steal. I'd steal.
The man tries to hit her again with a broken lamp, but she grabs the end. Suddenly, Maggie tells him to let go of the rod and she plugs it to the outlet, electrocuting and incapacitating the servant. Later, when the paramedics arrive, Nick tries to apologize for everything, but the wife says it might be best if she heads to the hospital with the kids and he stays behind. Meanwhile, in the lab, Lila and John work on the defective android to figure out what went wrong. The woman checks the codes and sees that the system's selectively purging its own memory and commands. Suddenly, the rogue computer starts replicating itself onto the servers. Seconds later, a blonde-haired Aeon model unit rises from a table and kills John and Lila, implying that she downloaded the defective system before they could stop it. In the hospital, despite the robot doctor stating that they can take Max home, Maggie prefers to stay for the night. At a bar, Nick changes his mind about
Bro, what's the point of admitting like, oh yeah, you cheated if you just gonna go to a bar the next day? Like, bro, is this guy like Future? I'm confused. Like, is this guy like toxic? Like, what's up with this guy?
His drink and he slides it to the end of the table. Then he hears Alice's voice quoting Casablanca, and to his horror, the damaged android takes a seat across from him. She insists that she was only protecting her primary user when she killed Monty, and he counters that he doesn't need her help with anything. The man tells her to stay away from his family, but the robot says it's too late because she is already at the hospital. Nick tries to leave, but the robot grabs his arm and forces him to sit back down. Because he knows the android's stronger than he is, he begins saying the things Alice wants to hear.
No way you getting your ass whooped by an android so bad you crying. Is this guy actually crying? You gotta go.
To get her to let her guard down, he gently touches her arm, then her chest, and in one swift motion, he rips the memory cord from her head. In the hospital, Alice, her memory now in the blonde android, tries to lure Isla by imitating the mother's voice. Fortunately, Maggie finds the child in time and they hide in the nurse's station. Seconds later, the robot kills a nurse, takes her keycard, and uses it on the computer to find Max's room. While crawling away, the woman cuts her hand on a glass shard. Eventually, they return to the baby's room, and Maggie removes the shard from her hand and drops it on the floor. When Alice enters the room, she steps on the piece of glass and uses the UV light from her mouth to follow the drops of blood. The robot follows the trail to a corner of the room, and when she moves the curtain, aside, Maggie tells her daughter to spray the fire extinguisher, momentarily distracting the android as they run away. Because Alice turned off all the robot hospital staff members, the woman tries to drive the ambulance. However, the vehicle system doesn't allow her to use it, and the android rips the door off. The servant throws Maggie several feet away from the ambulance. She begs Alice
in a fight with Optimus Prime right now. I'm actually sitting watching y'all. Y'all getting active though. No cap. Y'all getting active though. Cause me personally, I would have did worse, but y'all did good. This is excellent. Definitely, bro. But why this AI dead ass Thanos? Why? Why do you have so much like strength
to hurt her? But the robot believes that if she had the woman's heart, Nick would love her the way he loves his wife.
Wow.
As she's about to rip the woman's scar open, they see the man in his car coming their way. So Maggie kicks the android away from her, allowing the husband to run the robot over with a vehicle. The woman pulls the unconscious man from the wreck. Suddenly, Alice emerges from beneath the burning car and attacks Maggie. Just as she's about to stab the woman with a piece of metal, Nick hits the robot with a tailpipe. Seconds later, Maggie grabs the sharp piece of metal and stabs Alice's eye, defeating her.
This robot was doing way too much. I don't care, robot or not, you can't hit woman, bro.
Seconds later, Maggie grabs the sharp piece of metal and stabs Alice's eye,
That guy's done.
defeating her.
Your
The
career's
next
done.
day,
Kiss it
while
goodbye,
the man
kid.
recovers in the hospital room, Isla asks if he needs to find a new car to fix. But the man looks at his wife and implies that repairing his marriage is the top priority. Meanwhile, in the lab, a COBOL executive orders the androids to clean up the crime
God
scene
swears he's
because no
wholesome.
one should find out what happened. Suddenly, all the robots freeze, and the rogue system initiates the upload of Alice's memory to another Aeon model who opens its eyes.
Subscribe to
Now that's crazy. Best movie all time. You get an A+ review from me, dude. Like, really? Shout out 4 people right here. Join my Discord, like this video, follow my Twitch. Streaming right now, 8:30 p.m. Dually up next. Do all of those things, and then you can get a shout out. Just let me know you did those in the comment section. It's right here. I appreciate these 4 people. Y'all get handpicked. These 4 people won this time. Goodbye.